Fable squad. Right, man, we're back, and I'm back with another Peanut Gallery episode. We're going to do something a little bit different. As you know, there's this whole excitement and hype around the whole Mike Tyson versus Roy Jones Jr. fight. Both heavyweight legends. I lean more to the Tyson side. The one thing, if you guys don't know about me, I absolutely love boxing. I love watching boxing. When I was in my early 20s, I used to actually train in boxing. I used to do boxing. Nothing professional, but I used to really enjoy boxing. So it's the one of three sports I really enjoy. Obviously football, soccer, that is, for the Americans. My number one, golf my number two, boxing my number three. And Mike Tyson, man, as you know, he's a legend, heavyweight legend. The fact that these two guys are fighting right now is... I don't know. I don't think anybody at their age should be getting knocked in the face by anybody. Like, literally, I don't think if you're that age, if you get a fist by Tyson, even though he's old, he still packs power, I'm pretty sure. And I think a senior shouldn't be getting that kind of like blow to the face. But hey, that fight's dropping. That fight's gonna happen in a couple of hours. I'm gonna try and drop this before that fight. This is Mike Tyson's final words to Roy Jones Jr., right? And kind of like when Mike Tyson gives you final words, you're kind of scared, you know what I mean? Even though he's old, I still think Mike Tyson could probably kill somebody if he had to punch them. So anyway, let's see what Mike Tyson's got. It's like a 16-minute video, it's not too long, but I thought it would be just cool to actually see what he's got to say. And you know, just before the fight. Let's go, man.
Hi Mike. First of all, I'm very interested in knowing, from where you were before this entire procedure, how much of a physical journey has this been for you to get to this fight?
Hey, it's true. I can't believe you asked me this.
You take your mask off.
Are you sure?
Positive, yes sir.
Are you sure Nancy Pelosi's not watching?
Okay. So it's cool to take my mask off, huh?
From this distance, I think we're good.
Okay, cool. Would you be kind enough to express that again?
I was just wondering what the physical journey has been like from where you were to getting to this fight. What has it been like just to change your body?
Hey man, he's looking good for his age though, eh? He's looking like stocky, he's looking good for his age.
Into fight shape.
I don't know, it's a 100-pound process. And I started, my wife told me, well, she pretty much asked to do the treadmill for 15 minutes a day. So that 15 minutes turned into 2 hours a day.
Of course.
And from there I started...
Because that's what happens with athletes like this. They always get into that whole dedication vibe. So it starts at 15 minutes and it's like, no, I should put this high, I should push this a little bit further, Then it turns to 2 hours. That's athletes there. That's athletes for you, always pushing.
Doing 2 hours on the treadmill, an hour on the bike. Then I started running. And I was, I don't know where I was. I wanted to hit the miss. I don't know why I wanted to hit the miss. And someone said that they knew Rafael Cardozo, I believe it is, and Cadera, please. And he held the miss for me. And it was, I had to lose the weight, of course. But after I lost the weight, you know, I went vegan for the whole 2 years and just never
shit,
ate anything.
I didn't know that. I didn't know that he went to vegan for 2 years. Okay, so he was like in. As you know, Mike Tyson's had a pretty elaborate life story. You know what I mean? When he was younger and that kind of thing. He was firstly a legend boxing fighter. I don't think anybody hits as hard as him. Possibly close, maybe at his time, Lennox Lewis. But even then, Lennox Lewis said when he fought Mike Tyson, he actually couldn't wait to get out the ring because Mike Tyson, every blow felt like it was going, like he was about to die every time Mike Tyson hit you. This man was crazy.
Exercise. But when I was hitting the mitts, and I believe we showed it on Instagram, and it got like over 2 billion hits. And before that little 20-second combination, I was in the bed for 6 weeks. I was all messed up. I got comfortable with the process of punching and moving, and then eventually sparring. And it was really complicated. Listen, I'll never call another fighter a bum again.
Man, this
you know, because the process of getting in shape.
Mike Tyson, when you hear Mike Tyson saying, I'm never going to call another fighter a bum again. Come on, man. Like, Mike Tyson used to be the guy, I'll fucking eat your babies. What did he used to say? That used to be mad.
Fight somebody is just
we can't. Sorry, guys, I'm not going to pause this much. We can't forget that he bit someone's ear. I forget the bloody fighter's name. He actually bit someone's ear as well. I told you, he's had a colourful past. Let's go.
Overwhelming if you're not an experienced fighter.
You mentioned that for some reason you wanted to hit the mitts. Are you surprised that you wanted to? Because that was something for years you shied away from. You didn't want to go back to the boxing. So when you had that sudden desire, like I'd like to hit the mitts again, were you surprised at yourself?
Hey, listen, this stuff started with all my friends. I took this I don't know it's a natural medicine from alternative. It's called a toad. I took the medicine, and the medicine told me to get in shape.
You said the medicine told you to get in shape.
Yeah.
You also mentioned before that the gods of...
What was the medicine, Mike? What was the medicine, Mike? Was it shrooms? What was the medicine, Mike?
War came and tapped you on the shoulder and said it was time to go again.
Well, pretty much, yeah. Pretty much that spirit that I took that they called the toad, the god's monocle, it really blew my mind. So it told me to come back and start getting in shape.
Is it fun? Has this...
When the medicine, aka drugs, start talking to you and saying, Mike, get back into fighting, bro. Get back into fighting. You know that's some good fucking drugs you're taking there.
It's been fun for you? I know it's been hard work, but is it fun to know that you're
This
back?
is fun right now.
This bit here.
This, and then boom, then we're going to the fight. This is the fun part. Everything else is hell.
Your career, back when you were an active fighter, has had the highest of highs and then the lowest of lows. If you compare yourself now as a fighter to at any point in your prime, how similar do you think you are to the guy who came and destroyed Trevor Berbick, or the guy towards the end? Where do you think you rank now compared to in your prime?
Hey, I never put myself in that perspective because I didn't know what I was then. I'm just very more
It's a bit of like a weird question. Like, how do you how would you compare yourself now to your prime? How would I compare myself now to my prime? I was in my prime. Of course, I was better in my prime. You know what I mean? I don't know. Like, it's an odd question to even ask that. It's like, obviously you were better in your prime. You're way older now. There's no ways you're gonna hit harder. Although you hit hard, there's no way you're gonna hit harder. There's no ways you're gonna last longer. There's no ways you got more stamina. There's no ways that your movement's quicker. It's impossible. It's just physically impossible. You're never gonna beat your prime ever. That's why it's called your prime. You know what I mean?
Comfortable in the way who I am now, to a certain degree. Not totally, but to a certain degree. So I can't compare the two, but this is what I want to do. I can say this, my last fight, I didn't have no interest in doing it. I'm interested in doing it now.
How many rounds do you think you sparred for this fight?
Quite a few. I couldn't question the number of rounds, but quite a few.
What was it like mentally to get back in the ring after so long and be trading punches with someone? What was that like as an experience?
Well, the first day was disastrous. And,
I can imagine.
But neither, how do I express this? During that session of boxing when I was getting shellacked, never once did I say, what the fuck am I doing here? I said, ooh, I belong here.
Of course you belong here. You're a pro fucking heavyweight boxer. Of course you belong in the ring. That's your home, bro. That's your home.
You're right. To know that, okay, this is going terribly, but I'm not quitting. That must tell you that you're doing the right thing, that you're belonging back in that ring.
In some degree, it tells me I'm a fool.
Okay.
But
now, as you know, these kind of fights are exhibition fights, right? This whole thing is. It's all a money-making, money-generating, hype-building type fight, right? It's an exhibition fight. They're there to create a bit of an excitement and to just turn in fucking money. The fact that it's got the undercard that it's got, which is Jake Paul versus Nate Robinson, I hope Jake Paul gets smashed in the fucking face. That's just me, right? That's just me. I hope he gets smashed in the face. But also, again, another, I wouldn't even call it an exhibition. These YouTube fighting is a money generating. It's these guys that have got a whole bunch of followers. They're not professional fighters, although they like to call themselves professional. When I say professional, I'm talking about, when I consider boxing in terms of like professional, we're talking about Lomachenko professional, Floyd Mayweather professional, Mike Tyson professional. Those kind of guys are professional. You know what I mean? In my books, right? A Jake Paul versus an NBA player, that's not professional for me. I'm sorry, all right? That's an exhibition fight. Now this over here, right? It's two pro boxers, right? Well out of their prime, but still, it's an exhibition fight. These are household names. Mike Tyson versus Roy Jones Jr. These guys were brilliant. They were brilliant boxers at the time. They're now coming back. It's almost kind of like a for the fans. It's like the quintessential Michael Jackson, this is it, you know, type vibe. I kind of feel like that's the kind of play here. It's just a money generator, and you remember we were the greats, right? So I can get that. But I kind of weep for the sport of boxing at the moment, because where are the pro big names, man? All we fucking hearing is the Logan Pauls versus this, the Jake Pauls versus this, the Conor McGregor versus the come out of retirement 6 times Floyd Mayweather. Again, these are exhibition fights, but where are the pros? Where's the hype for the pros? You know what I mean? Where's the last hype for the pros that I thought was like decent was Floyd Mayweather and Pacquiao, right? Of actual boxers. Now it feels like the sport's getting a little tainted with these, with these trying to make more money exhibition type fights. I don't know. That's just my opinion. Don't slay me for it. But hey, it's cool to see Mike Tyson in the ring again, right? I'd love to see what he'll do at this age, but does Roy Jones really want to get cracked in the face by Mike Tyson? Because I'm pretty sure he's still at his age. You know what I mean? Your head isn't as hard. I mean, it's a bit more fragile than it was when you were younger. I don't know. It's risky, but maybe they'll play it safe. Let's go.
I love the other side that tells me I can do it. Yeah, I pretty much feed that one.
With Roy Jones
Everyone
Jr.,
knows you can do it.
what are you expecting tomorrow night? Are you expecting him to be a little bit slower? Are you expecting him to try to stick and move for the first few rounds? What exactly do you expect out of Roy tomorrow night?
I have no idea. Most likely part of. I'm just gonna go right at him as soon as the bell. We're just gonna see what happens.
Yo, we know how Tyson fights. This man's a bull. Like literally, bell rings, walks you down, and just he hits you with 2 carburetors every single fucking second until you're dead. You know what I mean? This Oak is a brutal fighter. Brutal.
Have you been frustrated with all this sort of pre-fight talk about there's these restrictions, there's this restrictions? For you, you've put your body through a training camp, and now people are saying that you're almost putting on a show. Does that kind of insult you? You know you're in here to fight properly.
Well, listen.
Well, let's be real. It is a bit of a show. I get that he's here to fight properly, but come on. At their age, you can't bullshit. Let's be real. Like, this is for the show. This is for the money. Come on. Let's just be real, right? Yes, we get it. I know he wants to get back into the boxing ring, or wants to get back into the fighting. I absolutely love Mike Tyson. I put my money on Tyson on this fight. I don't know if I've mentioned that, but my money's on Tyson in this fight, right? But you cannot say it's not for the money, it's not for the show. It is, right? I'm not saying it's all that, but a large part of it is that.
Get it? It's going to be entertaining, because I'm a fighter, he's a fighter, and of course, we're in there throwing punches, and during that process, anything can happen.
Do you think you can still hit as hard as you used to be able to?
We're gonna.
What question is that? No, of course he can't hit as hard as he used to. I don't understand that. Why would you ask a question like that? Of course he can't hit as hard as he used to. I can tell you now he can't hit as hard as he used to. You hit the hardest in your prime. No, you can't hit as hard as you used to, of course.
See.
Good stuff. And
sorry, wait, let me just go back.
So I guess just one last thing from me.
My little rant, sorry guys, let me just go back.
What as you used to be able to?
We're gonna see.
We're gonna see.
Good stuff. And so I guess just one last thing from me. How do you see the fight going? What's your prediction? Do you have a prediction? Do you think I can knock him out in the first round or the 8th round?
So.
How do you predict this fight going?
Your Black Friday gift from me and Waves is finally here.
Boxing is a puncher's game. It's a puncher's sport, right? And you've got a one-punch chance. One shot landed correctly will knock him out. One shot from Tyson landed correctly will put you in fucking hospital. So absolutely, I think he can knock him out. Not taking anything away from Roy Jones. He can fly some jabs too, right? But I think Tyson is I think Tyson's got more ammo in his punches, personally. But anyway,
as soon as I hit him good, listen. I don't know. Maybe I don't know how to go either. I don't know. I don't want to say the wrong things because some people get angry, at the boxing commission. So I don't like to say the wrong thing.
I don't want to say the wrong thing. I want to eat your fucking children, Roy. I don't want to say the wrong thing. I'm going to rape you and fuck you. What did he used to say? Tyson used to be heavy with that. I think it's cool that he's actually become like, you know what? I don't want to say the wrong thing. It's like worlds apart from who Tyson used to be. You know what I mean? I don't want to say the wrong thing. Just say it, Tyson. Say it, bro. Just say I want to knock your fucking block off, bro.
Good luck tomorrow night.
Thank you very much.
Mike, this is something I never thought I'd do, cover a fight in 2020 with Mike Tyson.
Crazy.
We're last in the ring.
Crazy. He actually made a good point there. Did anybody think that? Did anybody think you'd see Mike Tyson fighting in 2020? I mean, he's been out of boxing now for how many years? God knows.
Years ago. What
did you say?
This is something I never thought I'd do, cover a fight in 2020 with Mike Tyson. You were last in the ring 15 years ago.
15?
What has the process been like for you, and what has changed now compared to 15 years ago as far as training goes?
I do the same process. I box, I run, hit the bag, and it has the same.
I do what a boxer does.
Dedication. I would have never lost the weight.
Is there anything that
I do what a boxer does: dedication, run, hit the bag, do what you need to do. Right? Can I do it? Can I do it for as long as I used to do it in my prime years? No. Can I do it? As vigorously as it did? No, of course not. But you push your body to the limit that it can handle, and you take it there, and that's that. At the end of the day, I'll tell you now. If somebody had to ask Tyson, saying, "Can you right now, like, what would the training? What? A good question would be, how has your training regimen changed from when you were in your prime to today? What could you do then that you can't do now?" Right? And then you can get a proper representation of where his physicality is then, blah, 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 blah. Because then he'd say, yeah, man, I could run, 10 miles when I was younger. You know what I mean? Now I can only handle this much. Now at least you can get sort of like a percentage, in terms of where he's at. Right? But he's definitely not where he was in his prime. 100% not. But I wouldn't want to fight him. Not now and not when he's 90. Like, I wouldn't want to fight him.
has changed for you in the last 15 years as far as preparing for a boxing match?
Well, I want to do it. Most of the time I was obligated to do it from a contract perspective.
Sure.
If you don't do this, we'll take everything you have. We have you in common. They've been blackmailing me. If you don't fight, we'll take everything you have. And
oh, shit.
How? Be back in Brownsville. So, during that process, I didn't really want to fight.
And now it's a totally different environment where...
Yeah, this is fun. We were doing some business at...
I could imagine it's a lot more laid back then, because back then when it was actually, when you were part of a manager, especially in his time, they could have been a bit heavy with him and being like, well, if you don't do this, then, we take away the goods, we take away the luxuries. I think it's wrong to do that either way. But, now he's kind of his own guy. He can choose to do it or not choose to do it. You know what I mean? So he's kind of earned his stripes, very much like Floyd Mayweather, earned his stripes. He can pick and choose whatever he wants to do. It must be a cool position to be in.
Because I have a couple of business partners, and we were fortunate that was successful in a few endeavors. And I just wanted to do this. My brother-in-law asked did I want to fight somebody? Somebody offered money for me to fight somebody, and at first I said no. And then I said, hey, will he fight me? Will he box me? And the guy said yes. And we went from, I don't know, Bob Sapp, Tyson Fury, Shannon Briggs. And now we got
Shannon Briggs. I think Mike Tyson would knock Shannon Briggs' fucking block off. Wasn't he Logan Paul's trainer when it was against what's his name? Logan Paul versus KSI. It was Shannon Briggs that actually trained him, right? And he has the loud mouth as well. And it just so happened that his camp lost. Anyway.
You've turned your life around so many times. What do you credit that to?
What is that? Tell me about that. What did you mean by turning my life around?
You've had so many reinventions of yourself. You've had so many acts. You've had so many new chapters, and you keep building onto your story.
That is correct. I said that earlier.
That drive and spirit to.
I'm just struggling like everyone else here. I'm learning from life's mistakes, or life wins. You know, I'm doing what you're doing. We all out here surviving. Some struggling more than others. Some struggling with demons that we create ourselves. We just out here in this world getting pitched punches of life.
I love that. I love that. You could not say any more facts than that. That is exactly that, and that's a very, very, very humble response. So nice to see Mike Tyson speaking like this, saying, "Hey, man, it's all a struggle for all of us in life, man. I'm doing what you're doing, man. I'm trying to deal with my own demons, trying to deal with my own mistakes. I've got a past that I've got to deal with as well." He's just being real, man. Love that. Love that. Hats off to you, Tyson.
You have all these people around you again. Mobs are after you, kind of like it was in your heyday. What is that feeling like that you still draw that energy and attraction?
Oh, when you mean mobs, it means crowds. I thought like mobs. Like, where's Tyson, see? Nothing like that kind of mobs.
Well, I don't know really how to take that. The only thing I want to do is be present for my wife and my kids, my niece, my family members and my close friends. This is a part of my life that I've pretty much thrown away. It doesn't have the appeal like it once had, but I like to manipulate it. I like to use it for a way I can voice my ego and make people come to fights and all that stuff. This is all beautiful and it's meant to be this way, but I don't take it serious as I did when I was younger.
When we talked last year at the Tyson Ranch,
That's an honest answer as well. I don't take it as seriously as I did when I was younger. I don't have to take it as seriously. Those days were those days. I've got other things to worry about. I've got a family to worry about and that kind of thing. So, we do this because I'm manipulating it the way I want to manipulate it. I want to use my name in a certain way that can generate a little bit of hype, getting a little bit bored. Love it.
You're telling me about the toad and how it kills your ego. Is your ego back now?
It's so much more healthier than it ever been.
Yes, it is.
And you've famously said everyone has a plan until they get punched in the mouth. You're going to get punched in the mouth tomorrow. What's your plan?
Well, I'm going to go to plan B, punch him back.
Yeah. It's like everyone, the thing is, it's like, yeah, you're going to get punched in the mouth, man. But when Tyson punches you back, broker, you take it. Because I'll tell you one thing about Tyson. Tyson can take hits. You know what I mean? It's not just about the hits that he can throw. That Tyson can take hits. Now, again, as in an old age, I still think it's a bit dangerous for these old guys. I don't know if they're wearing headgear and shit like that. I still think it's dangerous for seniors to be fighting each other. These guys still have power in their punches. They still have power. The only thing that's changed, right? They don't have the power they used to, like I said, but they've still got more power than most. But the only thing that's changed and changed dramatically is your ability to take hits at this age, right? A hit from even a Tyson punch today, right, can really cause some fucking damage to how old are these guys? I don't know, in their 50s, 60s, I don't know. Somewhere around there, 55, 60. A hit from Tyson to the fucking noggin, right, at that age, that shit can put you in fucking hospital. It's so much more risky. You know what I mean? So it's a little bit of a risky story. So yeah, sure, you're going to get punched and they'll punch back. But you're gonna feel it the next day. You're gonna feel it the next day, if not the same day. It's a bit, it's hectic. I worry, but we'll be keeping up with this entire thing. I'm going to react to the fight highlights as well, and I'll bring that to you guys as well, and I'll give you my thoughts on that. But it would be interesting to see how this pans out. My money's on Tyson. I'll eat a sock on camera if Tyson doesn't win this. Let's go.
Thank you, Mike.
Hey, Mike.
How you doing?
Good, thanks. When you were the heavyweight champ in the world, did you ever think about what life would be like in middle age? Did you ever think that far ahead?
No, I didn't think I lived that long. I was just so intense and took myself so serious back then.
So you never could have imagined being in this situation?
Not in a million years, no.
What
True,
have you
honest.
learned as you've gotten older about your body and about aging that maybe isn't as true as you thought it was when you were younger?
You see, this is a good question. This is exactly what I said before, right? What are the differences now? What are you seeing now, right, that you didn't anticipate back then? But what do you see, or you're not anticipating now that your body is not quite, what it was back then? But what are the differences? Show us, tell us, what are you feeling that's different?
When you were coming up, it was unusual for a 30-year-old fighter to be still competitive and at the top level.
Exactly. It's just that the human species in general has, I don't know what the word.
Look at this man's
exonerated.
fists. Look at this man's hands. Look at this man's hands. Imagine that fist. Imagine getting knocked like that, like in Hangover, getting a swing like that. That would have killed you, bro. Killed you flat.
Self-exalted itself. What is that called again? We advanced ourselves. We're different.
We
Yeah, we
evolved.
evolved to another species almost. What we're doing now, we're living longer. We're curing longer. We're getting more drastic disease. The disease now changes its form for it. It lasts longer and more difficult to find any kind of vaccine for it. I'm talking about diseases that we're not even conscious of yet. And I don't know. You tell me.
You said it. You mentioned that
I still rate in the evolution getting knocked in the face by Mike Tyson at the age of 60. I don't think any part of evolution will ever find that kind to the human body ever. You know what I mean? Still, I don't think so. So yeah, Roger said right? But evolution has its limits too.
you're feeling healthier than you have in a long time. How does that manifest itself? Do you sleep better? Do you eat better? Do you have more energy?
No, I'm a horrible sleeper, but I just don't leave my house. My wife.
As does anybody lately.
They can't imagine me being in the house this long. Listen, I would get up in the morning. I would leave the house at 9 in the morning, and I would come back 9 the next morning. And it was never. I was one of those house husbands, and time humbles you, and you want to see.
Facts. Again, I love to see this side of Tyson, man. I feel like he's introspected on himself. He's gotten more aware. He knows more of himself. You know what I mean? He's looked in to who he is as a person, and he's like, time's a big factor. Time's a big factor. As you go older and older and older, time will fucking humble you, right? Because you got to deal with all the mistakes that you do in your youth. You really, really get humbled as you go along in life. You know what I mean? It's got a nice way of cutting you down to fucking size, because you always think that you're bigger and greater and better than everybody when you're younger. And then my grandmother always used to say, the tallest trees always fall the hardest. You know what I mean? You think you're fucking up there, but it just takes a minute for the tallest trees to fall the hardest. Let's go, man.
Your children grow. You want to see them evolve like you. You want to see them have a great childhood like yourself. And so that's basically what I do. I just want to evolve myself with my family and my friends who I love. That's what it's really all about now. The older we get, we start to lose so many people. Life is just a flick of the eye.
I like that. Well done, Tyson.
What will you consider?
Love to hear Tyson talk like this.
Tomorrow night?
Yeah. What will make tomorrow night a success, or is it already a success before you even get in that ring?
Listen,
I'd say it is.
me being here is a success. me just existing. Me just existing as a human being is a success.
When did Tyson get so philosophical, man? I love Tyson like this. Now he's speaking to my heart. When he was younger, he was a bit brash. I was all for the boxing. Now I'm all for Tyson, the human being, man. I like this Tyson. Let's go, dude.
And that's more of, I don't look at life as being age. I look at life as energy. And you don't bring your age to the table. You bring your energy to the table. You don't go meet people, hey, I'm Bob, I'm 59. You don't do that. You say, I'm Bob, I'm such and such, and you do it with enthusiasm, too, because enthusiasm is contagious.
Yes, Tyson. Come on, bro. I gotta respect him. Tyson's definitely winning, man. It's not even a fucking question, bro. It's not even a question.
The process for this fight, but this may not be the last thing for you. You want to see where this goes and what you can do, you know, beyond this. What's your dream with that? What do you want to see?
Well, as I was saying earlier, we got this league, Legends Only League, and we're getting ready to, and it's a strong possibility we're getting ready to take it to another level and have other sports compete. Like we were discussing one, just for instance, Dennis Rodman and Men of Peace doing a one-on-one game to 11.
That's just, oh, yeah,
like
cool
3
to
months
see.
to get in shape, and we could film them getting in shape and whatever. It's the whole whatever.
We could film them. You're talking to a 90s kid, and he's like, we can film them. Let's go.
It is, and we could make a series out of it.
Ooh, that would be cool, though.
Excuse me.
How about for you personally?
God willing, sky's the limits.
Could be anything, huh? Yeah. And why do you think that's important? Why do you think the League of Legends is important? Is it important that people see that aging is not what it once was?
Well, as we stated earlier in the beginning of our conversation, we are evolving, and sometimes we can't handle the evolvement, but we stayed shelled because it's overwhelming that I could still do this, but they still won't accept me because of my age. I don't know. This whole thing started because I was watching Jerry Rice, and I guess he did a 5-something, and so he did a 4-9, something really meager, deterrent from his best number, and they said he can't play anymore. People still want to see him play, even though he's a little bit slower. They still want to see him.
Okay, so what I actually think about this is basically all that this is, right? I get that it's almost like bringing back the legends of football, soccer. You know, bringing back Luis Figo, Zinedine Zidane, Maradona, Pele, creating a team of that, right? So you're doing yes, it's a League of Legends at the end of the day, and I think it's a great hype, and I think it's more as in terms of memory of the great legends of back in the day. And for me, it's more inspirational and motivational for people at the end of the day. I don't really think it's got anything to do with the actual physicality. I get that you can still box at the age of 59, 60, but you're not boxing the way the real boxing enthusiasts are drawn to, like true day boxing, the legends of today, right? They use the legends of yesterday to motivate them, right? Them seeing a fighting match between a Mike Tyson and a Roy Jones now, right, is just to honor their heroes. It's to honor the memory of when Tyson was at his elite, when, that kind of vibe. But I rate that in terms of the actual fighting. You're gonna want to watch somebody more nimble, more, you're only as relevant as your previous fight, essentially. You know what I mean? The same like with Conor McGregor. Conor McGregor was absolutely massive, right? Went off the chain a little bit, and then afterwards just kept losing, right? And then Nurmagomedov just absolutely smashed the guy, and Conor McGregor is pretty much, nobody cares. Nurmagomedov is now the new big thing at the end of the day. And people like to see the new big thing, right? Not to say that we'll ever forget the old people, but I think what I think is more like sort of prevalent here is the memory of guys that did it the best. The guys that were brilliant in their day, right? Because Maradona and Pele back in the day were absolutely brilliant, but I rate Messi and Ronaldo, if you had to put them in the same generation, would absolutely annihilate those two, right? But for their day, they were legends, absolute legends, right? So it's always good to sort of take that inspiration of where they got their story. You know what I mean? And don't forget, those were also hard times back then. And we weren't as liberal and as forward-thinking as we are today. There was stupid, very, very stupid backwards mentality back in the day for many sportsmen, for many athletes. It kind of hindered them, right? And they broke through the odds, like Muhammad Ali, like Mike Tyson, like George Foreman, like all those guys. You know what I mean? So it's just cool to look back and see these guys through all the odds, they reached it this far, and then this becomes an exhibition match. Of all of that is kind of a celebration of your career, your history, and what we found so great about you. That's how I feel, right? And less about the evolution of man and whether we can fight at the age of 60. Yeah, you can fight at the age of 60. You can't fight at the age of 60 the way you fought at the age of 25. There's no ways. You know what I mean? But we'll come, we'll see, we'll watch, because you're Mike Tyson and you meant something back in the day. You know what I mean?
They want to see him more than they want to see the guy playing his position at any team that's functioning now. So I looked at it from that perspective. I looked at it from the numbers perspective as well, because the world is all about numbers now, especially when it comes to Instagram, right? So yeah, I was told that before, and I didn't agree with him. The world is all about numbers. You're born, you die. Things come into existence, then they don't. Then it doesn't work anymore. It's just what it is.
That's life.
Thank you, Mike.
Thank you.
I'd love to see this kind of humble Mike. I think he's absolutely awesome. I think that's the end of the interview as well. Yeah, okay, that's it. So, yeah, man, I mean, listen, like I said, my money's on Mike Tyson, right? I've always loved him as a fighter, as a heavyweight fighter. There's three boxers in the world that I absolutely adore, and they're the obvious ones, obviously. Muhammad Ali, because of what he stood for, and what made Muhammad Ali such a great fighter is because he actually fought for something, right? He stood for something, he fought for something, he literally defied all odds, and he showed that in his character as a person, and he showed that in his character in the ring, that never fucking give up. I will be on the ropes for 10 fucking rounds, right? But I'll still take you down at the end of it, right? Obviously, as you know, that's the iconic fucking scene from Thriller in Manila, or whatever the fuck it's called. Mike Tyson, obviously this guy was a fucking brute, right? An absolute brute. He used to feel sorry for people. I think he's got like one of the fastest knockouts in the world at like 36 seconds. Knocked the dude the fuck out so far. Can't remember the name of the boxer. And then obviously, who can ever fucking forget Floyd Mayweather? Literally fucking untouchable. I think 50-0. 50-0. That man is the epitome of beautiful boxing. Defensive boxing, smart, a flipping smart boxer. You know what I mean? Is he, I'm saying, as like rough and tough as like a Mike Tyson or whatever else? No, he doesn't have to be, because he's got a brain. He boxes smartly. He's not a brute, right? Where I feel like Mike Tyson, although he was also a smart fighter, he was more of a brute. He brought the fight to you, right? Where Floyd Mayweather kind of stepped back and assessed and analyzed you, and then a couple of rounds in would break you the fuck down. You know what I mean? So anyway, I'm going to follow the fight as well. When the fight drops, I will do the highlights. I'd love to see what the highlights are. You guys put your predictions down below. Who's going to win it? Who's going to win it? I'm telling you Tyson's winning it, and I'm telling you now, if he doesn't win it in my next video, post the actual match, I will literally eat a sock. I'll eat a sock. I'll take my sock off, I'll eat it. You know what I mean? Mike Tyson's winning it, I'm telling you right now. But hey, right guys, you guys let me know. Put your predictions down below. I want to see how many people would predict this correctly, and then I'll maybe make a follow-up video to it saying how many people predicted Tyson, how many people predicted Roy Jones, and who was right and who was wrong. Right guys, I hope you enjoyed that video, man. I will keep you up to date. I will come back with the headlines. Love you all, man. Please stay safe, please stay healthy. Catch you in the next one. Peace.